Good morning and welcome to another YouTube video. Now in today's video I'm going to talk about something that a lot of people experience, but I'm going to talk about, is there a link between this experience and the unknown, the unexplained, even cryptids, if I dare say. Now I had experiences with this for years. Luckily I've not had them in a while. I used to describe them as waking dreams, but I learned later on that the phenomena is sleep paralysis. Now during this phenomena I experienced a lot of uncomfortable, really quite sometimes scary things, and sometimes I go to bed thinking I really hope it doesn't happen again. So in this video I'm going to indulge in those experiences and how I've come to think, what if there's a link between the things we see and experience during sleep paralysis and the unknown, unknown phenomena, unknown beings or creatures. Anyway, let's indulge. So my ever first, what I described it as a waking dream encounter, was when I was 16. I lived in my nana's house for many years. I was in a small box room, and one night I woke up in my room, or so I thought. I'd woke up in my room, obviously pitch black, but then I realised I couldn't move. I wanted to, I couldn't talk, wanted to, and then I realised that something was in the room. Not something, two things. And then all of a sudden I noticed two silhouette of figures at the end of my bed. Humans, full-size humans, no models, no toys in the room, no pets or anything. And they were just stood there staring. And I tried to talk, I tried to shout, I tried to move, and I just couldn't. And these were women, and yes, I was 16 years old. Some people might joke and say 16-year-old dreaming of two women at the end of his bed. It was not like that. It was frightening, and I couldn't see the faces properly. I couldn't see how they were dressed or wearing. I could just see a silhouette of two women. I'd say maybe they were like middle-aged. And that was the first time it happened. The first one that stuck with me anyway. I may have had some when I was younger, but that's the encounter that I remember. And ever since then, on and off, I had experiences, but it was when I was in my early to mid, borderline late 20s, I experienced it a lot. So that's my first encounter with what I described it as a waking dream, because I was awake. I was aware of my environment. I knew what the environment was, but I just couldn't move or talk. So I'm going to go through a few other experiences that stand out to me from me experiencing this phenomena or whatever it is, and then look at the links, potential links between unknown phenomena or unknown other beings, for example. So in my sort of early 20s to mid 20s, this happened a lot in different rooms in the house. I tried sleeping in different areas. This was at my nana's house at the time. Another experience that stand out, and this happened a lot, and I'd wake up again in my bed, in my room, aware of my surroundings, but really aware, like my senses were like really heightened. I was aware of everything in the room, but I couldn't move, I couldn't speak, I couldn't do anything. I was always aware that there was something in the room. But one time, not just this once, this happened many times after this, I got the sensation that I was floating that I was rising to the ceiling. Now, I don't know if this was physically me floating in the air while I was half asleep, and I know most of you are thinking, no you weren't, Jamie. Well, that's how it felt. And there was times where I literally felt like my nose could touch the ceiling. And it's not being in control or being able to change anything that was probably one of the most scary things. But what's made me think, is there a link between this sleep paralysis or waking dreams and the unknown or the unexplained, or, you know, unknown beings and creatures or other realities or realms? Is the things that I saw, the figures, the creatures, and I saw some bizarre things during these things in my room. And so I'm wondering, could sleep paralysis, or waking dreams as I called it, could we be seeing things that are unexplainable? So we can only see certain things in this state, and are they from another reality or another dimension, for example, or are they just things of our subconscious that it's like a nightmare but we're half awake. But in this video I'm focusing on what if there's a link between what we see in sleep paralysis, and if there's a link to unknown creatures or phenomena. So I'm gonna give another example, and then I'll indulge into the sort of things that I did see during sleep paralysis in terms of beings or creatures. So other than the two middle-aged women that I saw during my first recollection of sleep paralysis or waking dream, is I was in a different room for a while, the one next door to it, and this is the room where it happened the most. Now, I slept in 3 rooms in that house during my duration. You know, every now and then I changed what room I had. But this room it happened a lot when I was in this room. Now, I don't know if it was just my state of mind during that time, whether the things that were going on in my life took an effect on how often it happened. But there's a few encounters that were always the same. So I'd again wake up, or I think I wake up in my room. I'm aware of my surroundings, but I can't move or talk. Now, one thing that always happened, this happened a lot, was there was a dark figure in the room, but it wasn't just stood there. It was in the top corners of the room, so it was like crouched, as if it was on a ledge, and it would move around the room. And I was always waiting for it to come closer, and you know what's going to happen. If you're going to come closer and scare me, just do it. But at this time, I was interested in unexplained phenomena. I was into that stuff back then, but I didn't understand it as much as I do now, and I wasn't as read up on it. So I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know if it was supposed to be an animal, if it was supposed to be a ghost. I have no idea what it was. I couldn't see a face on it. It was like a black, dark figure. And I've just realised, could there be a connection with the video I've done before this, shadow people? Because that's what it looked like. So other than a dark figure, creature hovering around the room in the corners of the top ceiling of the room, there's another series I've got, phenomena that I've covered on this channel more than anything, and that's big cats in the UK. And the last experience of sleep paralysis that I remember from that house was in the last room I had before I moved on from my nana's house. And it exactly the same. I woke up in the room. I was aware that I was in the room. I couldn't move, I couldn't speak, but there was this black animal walking around the room. Now again, it was strange. It wasn't like I could see a black leopard or black jaguar, but I just knew it was a feline like black cat. And at this time I knew of the big cats in the UK phenomena, and I know it doesn't have anything to do with big cats in the UK. It was sleep paralysis, it was a waking dream. But I find it odd looking back at it that the most thing I've covered on this channel is big cats in the UK. And the main part I remember of this sleep paralysis is a big black feline creature. I'll see it over there, then I'll see it at the end of the bed, then I'll see it at the top ceiling again. But then it was right at the end of the bed, and then it pounced, and then it jumped, and I felt the pressure of the legs on my chest, and then of course that's when I snapped out of it. But before that, I was awake, I was in the room, I could see what was going on. I just couldn't get up, I couldn't move, I couldn't twitch my finger, I couldn't speak, I couldn't shout. Now, a lot of people experience this. I'm not the only person, but I'm wondering if the things we see, so the black figure that was hovering around the room in different corners at the top of the ceiling, the feline-like creature, the two silhouette of middle-aged women, maybe not the middle-aged women, but I couldn't see the faces, so I have no idea what or who they were. Could these be creatures or beings that are unknown to us? And as I dare say, cryptids. Now, cryptids is a bit of a stretch. I very nearly didn't say that then. But what if the things we encounter during sleep paralysis have something to do with unknown or unexplainable phenomena? Or what if we see things or beings from another realm or dimension, but only when we're in this state, only when we're partially subconscious, because we wake up and we are aware, but we just can't change anything? Or is it these beings or phenomena that can do this to us, that take control, that can stop us from moving and speaking during this event? And I know that there are scientific reasons for sleep paralysis, and a lot of people have been tested, and it's, there is explanations for it. But the things we see, yes, some might say, yeah, but what about the things we see in nightmares or dreams? That's just our subconscious, that's stuff that our brain has created. We must have had multiple experiences or thoughts for you to see that in your dream or nightmare at some point in your life. But the things that I saw in sleep paralysis, I can't explain. And now I've got this channel and I'm looking into all these unexplainable phenomena and beings and creatures, and in my Norse paganism, I believe in multiple realms, and in those realms are many different types of creatures. Now, what if we only see some of these unknown creatures or beings during states like sleep paralysis? So I just wanted to, it's a little bit of different topic from my usual videos, but I always try and look for a link to experiences that can happen to anyone on a daily basis or a night basis. And could there be a link with normal things that many people may experience, and a link with unknown phenomena or unknown creatures or beings that could be that we only see at certain points in time, like sleep paralysis. Now, I think what I'm suggesting could attribute to other types of phenomena as well, which I have covered on another video, but I'll briefly cover it now. So, the cryptid sightings. So sightings of, you know, Bigfoot, whether it's British Bigfoot or Bigfoot in America or the Yeti or werewolves. What if we're getting a glimpse of something that is supposed to be or from another reality or another dimension? Or are they flesh and blood here and they're that elusive, we only catch glimpses of them? Well, as always, with anything to do with unexplained phenomena, there's never a conclusion until we get a body or rock solid evidence. It's always, but what if it's this, but what if it's that? It could be this, it could be that. And that's what I want to make really important to anyone who's new to this channel. You may have, this may be the first video you've seen of mine, and you may think, oh, what's he on about? But this isn't me definitively saying that I think what I saw in sleep paralysis were beings from another dimension or even cryptids. This is me saying, the things it could have been. But I like to think that I do believe that there are a lot of beings and creatures in this world that we've not discovered, or that are unknown, or may never be scientifically proven, but I think that they're there. But there's always questions. So whenever there's something unexplainable, there's always questions, and that's simply what I've done, just in regards to my sleep paralysis experience and the things that I saw during it. So that's pretty much it. If you have experienced sleep paralysis or anything similar, or waking dreams, as it's always waking dreams because that's the name I gave to it before I found out about sleep paralysis. Please let me know your experiences. If it's something you're struggling with now, please let me know, because I don't know, I could maybe sharing might help if you're scared to go to sleep at night because you don't want it to happen again. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for I've had such a good reaction from my Shadow People video. I'm nearly at 800 views in under 2 weeks. I have no idea what a lot of people must be interested in Shadow People, and maybe there is a link between Shadow People and the people that I saw during my sleep paralysis, or the things that I saw during my sleep paralysis. Now again, this is all just my thoughts, you know, what if it's this, what if it's that? I do believe there are things in this world that we can't explain. I do think there are creatures out there that science doesn't know about, and a lot of people see them, but sometimes we only see them during sleep paralysis. So what's going on there? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as ever, please stay safe. Bye for now.